Hello, 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 hello. Pyro Anarchist saying trying to make up for forgetting to stream for 24 hours. Yeah, yes, actually, yes. Hello, 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 Tired Floor. Finally here again. Yes, I'm doing very well, thank you. I hope you're doing well as well. Cianzetta, this late, are you trying to corrupt my circadian rhythm? Rhythm? Is that how you say it? Yes, I am. Yeah, as I said in my last stream, I'm going to try to maybe eventually make things a bit later. Maybe sometimes streams at the usual time, but sometimes make it later. So that way Europeans never have a they can't say they're at work, they can't say they're at school or whatever. Cuz what, it's like 9 there or something? I know. I know you weren't tired, Floor. Gefilte Fisk. Hello, Gefilte Fisk. Your first time chat, but I saw you. You followed yesterday during the stream. Hello. Groovalicious. Hello, 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 hello. How are you today, Sean? I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. How are you, Groovalicious? How are you? I don't. Oh, I don't want to watch any more ads. Have you figured out how to give me a sub? Actually, wait. Let me see if I can do it right now, Brenna. Uh, I owe Krenna a sub. And then Krenna said, it's fine, you don't have to sub. And then... Okay, hold on. Yeah, I changed my mind. Yeah. Listen, I don't even have... I don't have... I don't have... I don't have, how do you call it? I don't have ads on my streams, okay? I don't have ads. It's only at the beginning. All right, I'm gonna try to pay you a sub right now, just cause like we have new people in chat, and I don't want my name to be slandered on my own stream. Could you believe it? No, we're not gonna have that happen. Wait, is it working right now? There you go. All right, there you go. Good job, Krenna. I don't even know. I don't even remember what you got a sub for. I don't even remember. I'm losing money from these streams. Okay. So we said hi to Groovalicious. We said hi to Gefiltefisk. Oh yeah, there's Gvamosani who followed. I hope everyone said hello to Gvamosani and Gefiltefisk as well, because Gefiltefisk is the first time chatter, even though they followed yesterday. There you go. It's almost 9 p.m. in Europe, so we're good. And Nonorax, thank you for following as well. Hey, listen, it was a good idea to stream later, wasn't it? Oh, chat didn't work for you last time, Gefiltefisk. Or maybe I just muted you. I want to use my points to use pig germinal emote. Oh yeah, it's true, we have emotes now. Hello, Sbrano. Hello, PF Porlock. Hello, maybe an anarchist? I don't know if I said hi to you, maybe an anarchist. Cat named Slickback. Hello, cat named Slickback. That's a name I haven't seen in a while. Hello, 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 hello. All right, now we're gonna have to stream a lot later. You're just giving me incentives. I'm happy to see all these names. Yeah. Tell them to thank you for investing in you, investing in them. Yeah, you're welcome. Hello, Dano City. Dano City as well. It's been a very long time. Glad to see you. Hello, hello. I hope people said hello to Vamosani, who is also saying hi as a first time chat. Welcome to the community, Vanosani. or Sani, whatever. Now Krena's using the two emotes that I took from Discord to put them in the. Hello, tummy full of soil. Welcome, tummy full of soil. Everybody say hi to tummy full of soil. What a great way to start the stream. Look at all these follows. We even got a gift sub. Oh, Magna. Holy shit. Magna's a name I haven't seen in a very, very long time. Glad to see it though. Since when are you in the Shadow Realm? Listen, a lot has changed. A lot has changed. Tummy full of soil saying hi. Well, hello, tummy full of soil. I'm happy people are saying hello to you as well. Welcome, everyone. Did you miss much in the time that you weren't here, Tired Floor? No, I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to. Oh, it's 11 a.m. Zbrano. I'm sorry. 11 p.m. I mean. Oh, it's too late for Zbrano. We'll have different streams, different times. Yeah, you've missed a lot. We changed the setting. I don't know if you were there last time we changed the setting, Tired Floor. Also, I learned a bit about how to be a streamer. More and more, we're learning every stream, basically. Yesterday, I got really pissed at a creationist in chat, and I got a bit mean, and then they left, and then I was like, fuck. I could have had a good conversation with a creationist in chat and made a segment out of it, but I was too angry, too insulting, too quickly to make a good segment out of it. So next time I gotta be more patient, and I asked chat to help me with being patient and not have people just leave. Yeah, maybe an anarchist. Lots of people I haven't seen in a while, which is good. Vamosani says they're glad to be there. I'm glad that you're here. Welcome, tummy full of soil. I like to eat dirt too. He lost in Yu-Gi-Oh! No, I didn't. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, worms. Okay. Magnus, you suggested the pig emote. You suggested that? Wow. We've got the mastermind behind this emoji. Or this emote or whatever in chat. Look at us. Oh, Tummy Full of Soil's doing some paintings while they watch. All right, since we have so many new people, I'm gonna just put the Discord chat, the Discord link in chat. So if you want to go check out the Discord community, I put some notifications when I'm live. I put some notifications when I make a video on my main channel, and you can also share your art there. There's also like an art criticism channel. There's like a linguistics channel. I don't know what people talk about, like languages. The setting is still way too bland. There are no colors. Do you see like this setting is basically half black, half red. Isn't that exactly what we want? Isn't that our colors? Hello, Temer. Temer, we talked about you yesterday. Because the guy who was a creationist was called Themor. But I kept calling him Temer. And then people were like, poor Temer. Being slandered this way in the stream. Bioanarchist says it was very funny though. Well, it was funny, but not for long enough. You know, we should have played with the food instead of just scaring it off. I miss chair, pussy water, and so much more. Okay, the chair is a bit low here. I still have the water here. Listen, but the most important part is chat. You thought you were gonna say it was me, but no, it's chat. Chat is still there. I'm still there. We're still having fun. Listen, you can't be afraid of change, because that would make you a reactionary, and we don't want reactionaries in chat. Yeah, so when I change things when I change things on stream and people criticize it, I'll just call you a reactionary. And we don't like reactionaries in here. Let's practice. I'll say insane shit and try to defend it while you try to stay calm. No, it has to be. It has to be genuine though. Is that plum juice? No, it's fruit. It's fruit. Linguism. That's what they're talking about. No, that's not what we want. Join the Discord. Thank you for joining the Discord, Timmy Full of Soil. Look at that. That is not water. I mean, it's mostly water. I'm a Twitch background conservative. Okay. Aren't you a reactionary for reacting to paintings? I do I react to paintings? I don't think I would say I react to paintings. The reaction of the paintings, they're done out of the video. Well, I guess I am a reactionary for paintings. I was reactionary yesterday. I do react sometimes also to videos on stream. White, red, and black. Very weird combo. No, it's not white. There's no white. What's going on, Groovalicious? All right. I critique paintings. I don't even critique them necessarily. I analyze paintings. I'm an analysis. Yeah, okay. The teacher wasn't saying that. Well, you know what? We're going to react. We're going to react right now, actually. Albanian, yo. I'm not Albanian. All right. We're going to do the first all right, for this stream, by the way. We're going to talk about Just Stop Oil. Because it came up again. We're gonna read Anarchist FAQ. Hey, yesterday we read the last chapter of an Anarchist FAQ for section A, and I already edited it today, this morning. So that means I'm ready. I'm hyped for Anarchist FAQ more than ever. So we're gonna read the introduction to section B and see what's in store for us for the next year or two. All right, so we're gonna read that, and then if we have time, and if I'm feeling, good and awake, and if people are still awake in chat by that time, I was thinking of continuing Disco Elysium. It's been so long. I don't know if I remember much. I remember being kind of both annoyed and bored of the game by the end of it, but I want to go back into it, try to re-immerse myself, maybe see if I can spark the flame up again. Can I have a Family Guy clip next to the reading, please? Yesterday we were doing a test or a quiz or something, and we had a Subway Surfers next to it. We actually did. You forgot how to play, you have to start over? Fuck no, I'm not starting over. Are you crazy? What does Disco Elysium have to do with disco? Says Groovalicious. I don't even know. I'm having a hard time really getting myself into that game and really yeah. Yeah, new Fortnite season though. Yeah, maybe we could play that actually. You know what? While we talk about, I'll just wait. Imagine, what is it though? It's a game. It's a game with politics, and apparently it's kind of leftist. But the leftist elements of it have kind of escaped me because I don't remember really being that impressed by them. Let's say. I'm leaving if we start gaming. You don't like gaming? It'll be in a while though. It'll be more towards the end of stream if we even game. I'm just gonna open Steam. I might have deleted Disco Elysium, and if I have, then pff. I love watching games. Personally. Yeah, let's see if I deleted Disco Elysium. No, I didn't. I didn't delete Disco Elysium. Okay, so we might continue. All right, so I have a friend request. It's Naro. All right, thank you, Naro, for the friend request on Steam. You should react to Money Game Part 3 by Ren. I don't know what that is. Sorry, I mean, it's okay. It's okay if you don't want to watch me play video games, if you think it's boring. Money Game Part 3. It's a song. I don't even fucking know if I can watch or listen to songs on Twitch. Is there a new part? Part 3? Have you seen Boogie Pop Phantom? No, I haven't. Okay. It's a new music video. I don't know it. He doesn't copyright? Maybe after the Just Stop Oil segment. All right. I have a lot to say about this Just Stop Oil thing. Do you know who Just Stop Oil is? Whoops. All right. I should really get an ad blocker, shouldn't I? Okay. Oh, they want to stop the production of vegetable oil. Is that it? How would I feel into turning into a worm? I don't think I would like it. I don't know what worms do during the winter when there's snow. It's probably really, really fucking cold. I wouldn't want to be a worm. Not here. It's too cold outside. All right. Enough of the trolling in chat. So, Just Stop Oil did it again. Let's see what they did this time.
Women did not get the vote by voting. It is time for deeds and not words. It is time to just stop oil.
Politics is failing us. Politics failed women in 1914. If millions will die due to new oil and gas licensing, millions! If we love history, if we love art, and if we love our families, we must just stop oil.
Please go to the next show, please.
Please go to the next show, please. Please. Groovalicious hates it. So many people hate it. Oh, Zach always sending the people. All right. Hello, the 25 viewers. Thank you, Raid. All right. No, breaking the glass. Hello, everyone. We're talking about Just Stop Oil. We just started the segment, so you're not missing anything. PF, and see, a lot of people are against it. Even people who are leftists, who just like me are leftists. And people, for example, PF Porlock calls them morons. Groovalicious says this is so frustrating. Yeah, destroy literally anything else. Why art? All right, all these things. Yesterday, I went on Tom Nicholas's stream. I actually called in after raiding Tom Nicholas. I called in and we talked a little bit about why this is such a controversial topic. Hello, all the raiders, by the way. Thank you so much, Zach, for yet another raid. Very, very appreciated. I don't remember if I said thank you. Thank you so much. All right. And with Tom, we talked about two things. One of them is, why does it get under people's skin so much? And one of them is because art, one of the reasons is because art is such a, it seems like it belongs to everyone. And when you attack something such as art, you're attacking the commons. You're attacking what belongs to everyone. And not everyone, just people who live today, but it's everyone who have lived in the past and in the future. It's like a common property to all that is not even spatial and not even temporal. And we also talked about the importance of originals when it came to art and paintings. And I'll start with that very quickly because I do believe that it affects my personal opinion on these actions. First and foremost, I don't care that much for original paintings in terms of art. I perceive them as maybe historical relics, maybe cultural relics, but I don't see them as art anymore. I'll give you an example. I gave that example with music yesterday with Tom Nicholas, and I said that with music, digital reproductions of music, to me, they're just as valuable as the first recording of that music if the digital reproduction is the same as the original recording. Because to me, what's important is not the material or the essence of the material of the art, right? What's important to me is what it says, its story, its message, its values, its ideas. All these things are what make the art, well, art. It's not, at least to me, the brush strokes. It's not the materiality of the work. Thank you so much for following, Silverlight. Thank you very much. It's more the concepts that are at play with the painting, with the image, which are completely separated from the original artwork. Now, that being said, I believe the importance of an original artwork kind of fades away once it's digitally reproduced, especially when it's reproduced to a fidelity that even the human eye could not perceive, right? That's something I talked about with Tom Nicholas as well, right? You see the Mona Lisa at the Louvre, and turns out it's a copy because the original is like in a, I don't know, conspiracy. The original one is actually stored in an undisclosed location. The one that you saw was a fake. But did your appreciation of it change? If by all standards, it looks the same, right? The same mysterious eyes, they're the same. No, the same mysterious smile is the same. And you can say that about Guernica as well by Picasso, right? What's important is not necessarily the originality of the image, not originality in the terms of being like unique, but yeah, also in terms of being unique, but more in terms of being the only one out there. Now that we have that out of the way, it's no coincidence that they've attacked Rockabye Venus by Velázquez. For those who don't know, Rockabye Venus by Velázquez, this painting right here, I made a video about it. It was slashed in... When was it slashed? Yeah, here. Slashed a shit ton of times. It was damaged a lot more in 1914 by, I believe, suffragettes. Yes. And the person who did that also quoted the fact that a lot of people were looking at it through the male gaze, though they didn't call it the male gaze because it was in 1914. But yeah, Mary Richardson attacked it. In the speech of Just Stop Oil, what they say is, people have been failing women back then. or people have been failing women. Why would they say that when they're just when they're trying to just stop oil? Well, they're saying that because there's been a history of this happening to that very, very painting. And we could say, Mary Richardson was wrong or whatever, but the case is, the fact is, the suffragettes did get what they wanted, and they didn't do it by pleading or by begging, please give us the right to vote. Please, would you be so kind to give me the right to vote? No, they got it by force. They didn't just slash some paintings. They did a lot of direct action, violent actions that a lot of people hated. But they had to do that, or else they weren't getting the right to vote. So there is a history, and what Just Stop Oil is saying is, we are continuing that history, but instead of fighting for the right for women to vote, we're fighting for the preservation of the world, quite literally. And I made a video a year ago when the first, well, I don't even know if it was the first, it's the Van Gogh one being vandalized. I made a video a year ago about it. And it's like pretty short, 7 minutes. We're not going to watch it. I don't like watching my own videos on stream because it's kind of weird. But go watch it if you want to know more about my how I feel about it. But I really don't care, especially if it's glass that they're breaking. Also, if Rockabye Venus was able to recover from this, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Even if it wasn't fine, who gives a fuck? Honestly, I don't. I really don't. We have so many reproductions of that artwork. I would be more sad about an artwork that wasn't reproduced, that wasn't taken, pictures of, that would be destroyed, right? That would actually be destroyed, not just damaged, actually destroyed. That could be sad. But again, the goals here are to disturb. In this case, they didn't even disturb, like the effects of their disturbance didn't do much on the painting, right? But it was very effective because people are talking about it. And even if you say, oh, we're against it, we don't like it, it's not meant to make you comfortable. It's not meant to make you like it. It's not. I think I quote, just because I'm basically just making the same video, but live. Blah, blah, blah. This is Emmeline Pankhurst, suffragette, saying, "We are not destroying orchid houses, breaking windows, cutting telegraph wires, injuring golf greens in order to win the approval of the people who were attacked. If the general public were pleased with what we are doing, that would be a proof that our warfare is ineffective. We are not fighting you because you played golf. We are fighting you at all. We're not fighting you at all, but trying to stir you up. Tell us you sympathize with us. We are determined, even at the price of your sympathy, to stir you up to do something." That's it. Stirring you up to do something. I think that's going to be my case. Very short, but I want to interact with chat a bit more because I've been going on a monologue. So I'm going to read everything that you're saying. Thank you so much for all the new followers. Hibernating Adder and Quiet Mercenary, who just followed. Everybody say hi to all the new followers and try to be respectful in chat about people's opinions. All right, let's start engaging. Magna says, "I mean, they're right, but it makes me not support them. They seem like nice people." Yeah, they could have been more destructive, such half measures, says Temmer. Plagued by Society says, "Hi, first time chatter." Hello, Plagued by Society. I hope you're still there. Sorry you had to go through my whole monologue without me saying hi. Hello. I think they should break more glass. Agreed. With bigger hammers. Agreed. Oh, and by the way, for those who don't know, if I make a segment, I'll probably have to put that at the beginning of the segment. Yes, I'm a streamer, anarchist streamer, whatever. I guess that's how I'm going to identify myself. But first and foremost, I win my life. Je gagne ma vie. In French, we say that. I feed myself through a channel, right? I make a living off of a YouTube channel on art history. So every week I look at art. I've been doing that for a couple of years now. So I love art. I'm an art person. Would I say I'm an art person before an anarchist? I think those two are very equal. But yeah, I love art. I'm not someone who's trying to minimize the importance of art. Quite on the contrary, my whole career on YouTube is to make art accessible and make people enjoy art more than they would otherwise. Yeah, Tummy Full of Soil says I'm cool with their whole thing. I think they should go further. Agreed. Yeah, just stop oil. No oil needed for paint or for fibers. Well, it's probably an oil painting, right? Rockabye Venus is probably an oil painting. It has to be. Yeah, Rockabye Venus is an oil painting. If it was, if it could have been, at the very least, an acrylic painting, but acrylic didn't exist back then, so. But why do we care if it's just a glass? People care a lot, even though it's just a glass, because it's attacking history, attacking culture. It's the closest thing we have today to some kind of religious artifact in a way, or something that's sacred. We don't have much sacred things anymore as a secular / atheist society. We don't really give a fuck if someone, I was gonna say if someone burns a cross, but that has another, significant, like, yeah, it's different. We don't give a fuck if someone, I don't know, does something against a religious artifact, but we do care if someone does something to a cultural or an artistic artifact, because those things are the most sacred things we have today, because they're now the things that connect us to the past and to a semblance of unity between among ourselves. Back then it was religion. It's not there anymore. So Vamosani says they're just vandalists. I mean, there are vandals. Is that how you say it? Vandalists? They did do vandalism, that's for sure. That I could not disagree with you more. I could not agree with you more. Yeah, that's what I meant. There are vandals. I want to make a segment about that eventually. We'll put a pin into that, Vamosani. If you're still there, please remind me after this segment to maybe talk about vandalism really, really quickly, to make another segment after this one, okay? We're putting a pin into that. Hentic Plays, hello, thank you for following. Everybody say welcome to Hentic Plays. There's a lot of people now. happy to hear that. Happy to see people following. Thank you very much, very appreciated. All right, I'm gonna go through chat quickly, because now I'm responding to chats that are not even next to me, next to my face. I care more about the environment than that work, says maybe an anarchist. Yeah, I think most people do. I don't think people who are angry at the artwork being vandalized, or at the glass being vandalized, are necessarily saying we prefer the artwork to the environment. That would be mischaracterizing people's arguments. I think most people still care more about the environment than that artwork. They just don't think that attacking that artwork or breaking it does much to help the environment. I disagree, right? At this point, I think it's important. Whatever it takes. Okay, maybe not whatever it takes. But like, when it comes to the annihilation of our planet through ecological catastrophe, I think stirring people up with, again, not whatever it takes, but with what it takes to stir people up is important. Yeah, it's a political theater, Temer. I'll agree with that. Temer says kind of a jerk thing to do, but it's just glass and a bit of political theater. Yeah, it's a jerk thing to do. But yeah, as the suffragettes were saying, like they were ruining golf courses, cutting telegraph lines, breaking windows. Those are jerk things to do. Any vandalism is a jerk thing to do, honestly. Yeah. All right, Magna has a longer message, so let's go through it. This kind of protesting is not effective since it doesn't give you the support of the community, and politicians won't even care. There must be a better way. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to do something with and gain the support of the community through it, right? It's hard to have politicians care in any case. I don't know how much that kind of action. I mean, there might be a better way, but how? Right? If you want, you have to disturb people, as Pankhurst was saying, right? I believe so too. You have to shake people up, disturb them, take them out of their routine. But how do you do that? People will always hate being taken out of their routines. They'll hate being shaken. They'll hate being interrupted in their daily life. So no matter what you're trying to do, as soon as you try to break with the status quo in any way that, you know, that's like trying to get attention, people won't like it. I don't think so. Getting the support of the community can be extremely hard if the community doesn't want to doesn't want to hear what you have to say. It's one of the reasons why the suffragettes did what they have to do. It's because, you know, they could make, I don't know, they could give food to like poor people and try to get the support of the community by showing that they're great, right? But people don't give a fuck about that. They just ignore it. Politicians might not ignore it. They might thank you for doing their jobs. That's the best you're gonna get. Yeah, if the environment is destroyed, then it doesn't matter if the artwork exists or not. We can go back to, I might have mentioned it in my video as well, to, what's it called? Who's that? It's in Mark Fisher's Capitalist Realism. It's The Road, Carmen McCormick or something. Is it called The Road? Is it just called, yeah, Cormac McCarthy. The Road by Cormac McCarthy, where he mentions, and it's mentioned in Capitalist Realism by Mark Fisher, the kind of paradox or the strange fact that powerful people will still cling to art even though we're at the end of the world, even though there's nothing after, even though we're preserving art for not much reason because there won't be a next generation to look at it. He's kind of, you know, underlining this paradox. Yeah, Krenna says they should be targeting fossil fuel infrastructure. And Gefilte Fisk says they are, but it doesn't get the same attention, which is true. Magna says, so cutting my arm off now won't matter if I'm going to be dead at a later time. Different. Very different. There's a name for that fallacy. There's a name for that fallacy, which is when people do that for governments as well. When people try to compare a broader social organism with an individual organism, right? We know that we're finite, but we understand that we try to benefit as much of our lives during that finite moment, right? But the thing is, for governments or for societies, we're not trying, like, we have to think of a time scale on a larger scale, I guess. For example, they're the same, like for governmental economics, that this kind of fallacy is brought up a lot. People believe that, you know, like, for example, a government cannot get indebted as much as it does right now, because like a good family father, I think that at least that's the expression we use in French, like someone who has a family cannot get indebted, and therefore a government shouldn't be indebted, because that means they're financially unhealthy. But the thing is, a government can be indebted, and it can be important for a government to be indebted, because not only do they have to answer to the family that happens now, but to future generations, to like a lot of future generations. While a family, yes, they have to answer to a future generation, but getting indebted as a family and getting indebted as a government is very, very different. Groovalicious says, yes, but this form of protest is ineffective. It's not necessary to destroy art when you could destroy something else. But the thing is, it seems to be just art that actually does something when it comes to like destroying something. Destroying something else, either it be sabotaging some oil plant or whatever, all these things don't get the attention that destroying art does. And measuring how effective a form of protest is something that's really, really hard to do. Saying that it's ineffective, because measuring the efficacy of an action is almost impossible. For example, did Pankhurst, what's her name? Richardson? Yeah. Did Mary Richardson, who did this, did it negatively or positively impact the suffragette movement? We can't tell. We don't know. Sometimes we can try to see a correlation between an event and public support, or see how that might have brought actions or not. But it's really hard to tell exactly what it is that brought actions or that changed something socially, because there's so many different things that that can affect it. There's so many different parameters. Vamosani, okay, I really gotta be faster. Vamosani says, so you don't care about physical copy, but the moral of the painting? I don't care about the physical copy at all. None whatsoever. If I care about the physical copy, I only care for it in terms of like a historical piece. In the sense, and I give that example with Tom Nicholas. I saw a painting at the Museum of the Musée des Beaux-Arts of Fine Arts in Montreal, and I saw a painting that was shown in a Paris salon of like the 19th century. And the painting, I didn't care much for it as a painting or for the art that it displayed. I believe it was probably academic art that I didn't care for that much. However, it was at the salon. And I saw the painting. I was like, over a century ago, some people were looking at this at the salon, the biggest artistic event in the Western world. They were looking at that, and to me, it's like, okay, there's like a historical feeling that you get by watching that, but it's not, has nothing to do with the art that is displayed. Krena says, in this case, I don't agree that any attention is good attention. That's a good debate to have. And I agree that not any attention is good attention. And I think that you can definitely have the luxury of pondering if, this is good attention, if this isn't. But in our case, it's kind of a situation of urgency, right? There's definitely a situation of urgency. And there doesn't seem to be much going on to resolve that urgency. Not at all, actually. Well, there are some things, but those things are not actually addressing the problem of climate change, just trying to slowly adapt to it. But it's not actually answering to the question or trying to resolve the underlying reasons for climate change. It's liberal reforms at best, which, as we know, are not going to fix anything. So at this point, what do? Do we wait for something to happen? Do we build communities strong enough to maybe... That's not going to do much. What are we supposed to do? Personally, I see someone attacking art. If people are angry at it, I defend them. I defend the people who attack the art. Because I think that's the best way to push the conversation forward. We say, we are in a state of emergency, and we're not taking that seriously. I don't think that criticizing people who attack a piece of glass in front of an artwork, but even if it was an artwork, I don't think criticizing these people actually benefits anyone. If you think that it actually hurts the movement, if you accept the underlying presupposition of the movement that says we have a couple of years, maybe not even, to solve climate change or to prevent its worst effects, then you should agree that we don't have time to go, all right, well, we got to be a bit nicer about, we got to be a bit smarter about doing this because some people might not agree with us or agree with this technique. Fuck it. No, fuck it. I don't think we have the luxury of thinking about how people will take it. Shake people up. If they don't agree with these techniques, at least they'll be shaken up to think, well, yeah, it is a problem. Because if everything crumbles around them as a result of people saying, holy shit, we gotta save the earth, they might be against the crumbling, but they might be even more sensitive to the environment being getting destroyed. At least that's my hope. All right, let's continue. Let's continue reading. I'm gonna try to catch up to all your comments. Large artworks have an imposing emotional element to the art piece that I cannot recreate at home, so that is unique. Yeah, but when I say like reproductions, they can be digital reproductions, but they could also be physical reproductions, right? You could reproduce Rockabye Venus by Velázquez at the same size. You could reproduce it at a bigger size, actually, with as much detail, if not more. It gets attention. I think that is what we're going for. It is important that those that uphold the system know that we are outraged and aren't going to just sit and let our world be destroyed. Yeah, the more of these kinds of there needs to be, like that kind of movement. The more of these kinds of actions that are going to happen, the more that we're going to have to do something about it. It's either we're going to have to repress environmentalists, or we are going to have to actually do something about climate change. If you're going to have to repress environmentalists, I think by doing that, you're already putting the environment as a number one political question on the political sphere, which is already something important to do. Because that means a lot of people will say, hey, we're I think it's a good thing. Let's continue because I have a lot of comments to catch up to. The crowd looking at the Mona Lisa is more interesting than the painting. I agree with you, P.F. Porlock. Absolutely. Groovelicious said, good point, Temer. To be fair, though, museums could recreate it on a large scale. Yeah, that's what I said. It's what I said, Groovelicious. They'll repeat after me. I know very well that your text was before what I said. You don't think that public support is important? Asks Krena. I do believe that public support is important. But let's say there's an emergency. And public support says they're for it, but they're kind of nonchalant about it, right? Or they don't know what they can do about it because they're powerless, which they are. They are powerless. Are we supposed to wait or try to get them to give more public support to the cause of environmentalism? Do you think that's on the time frame that we're looking at? Do you think that's even possible or feasible? I don't think so. I think the strategy, and that's the strategy of just stop oil, is to bring climate change at the forefront of the debate. Even if it's about their tactics, even if it's about, hey, we got to stop these pesky environmentalists, we're talking about climate change. And that's what we need to do. And you know what's great about having people talk about climate change is that, yes, they might talk about it in good or in bad, negative or positive, but they'll never talk about in negative, about climate change. They might try to deny it, but nobody's going to say, hey, climate change is a good thing, right? If you get people to talk about it, all they can do is the tactics of environmentalists are wrong. But when they talk about climate change, they're not going to be negative about it unless they deny it. All right, I'm going to read really quickly, okay? Because I realized I'm really, really far behind. So I'm going to read really quickly, silently in my head. And if there's something good, I'll speak, okay? But don't think that I'm just staring at my screen without doing anything. Sail the bulletproof glass through the roof. Oh my God. I'm going to have to just skip everything. Okay, I'm skipping everything. I'm so sorry, everyone. Hentic Plays says, I'm an Israeli socialist and the recent times have been hard as fuck. The global left abandoned us and this local right wants us dead. What, dude? The local right wants you dead? Oh, because you're a socialist. Yeah, no, it's hard to be a member. It's not your fault, but it's hard to be part of a country that's colonizing another, right? Because it's not necessarily your fault that your country's colonizing and genociding another people, but at the same time your country's doing that, but it's not your fault. I think as an Israeli socialist, I mean, we haven't abandoned Israelis, we have abandoned Zionists and people who want to commit genocide against Palestinians. For example, right? If one country wants to annihilate another one, I'm not going to say that every member of that country is responsible. I'm not saying that you're responsible for the thousands of deaths in Gaza. So I'm not turning my back on you, Hentic Plays, Israeli socialist. I'm not. I'm turning my back on your state, on your government. And through the actions of your government, I'm starting to think maybe your government is kind of problematic. I don't know. Oh, Grivalicious says, I've changed my whole outlook on this situation. You're so smart, Sean. You've convinced me. Thank you. Wow. Hello, Quello-san. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Colson says billionaires could have less about priceless artifacts. Could care less about priceless artifacts. They need to be hurt with where their money is. That's also a good. Yeah, it's actually not bad, but it's not gonna get like the public discourse about it. About that though. I don't know. Silverlight 42 says stirring people up when they have nowhere to turn for an organized opposition, though, will only likely funnel them to invalid solutions. I think that is a first-time chatter, Silverlight 42, actually a really good concern. Very happy to see that you're a first-time chatter with such a magnificent input. That is true. It's hard to, when they feel powerless without an opposition, organized opposition. I'll have to think about that. You're right. Is our organized opposition organized enough to stir people? Again, I think we're kind of desperate in terms of actions. I don't know. Wait, it wasn't The Road. It was Children of Men. Yeah. I said The Road by Cormac McCarthy, but it's not. It was Gefilte Fisk. Thank you. You're correcting me without wanting to. He says the discussion about just stop oil and their actions just feel like the scene from Children of Men, where the protagonist's brother has a bunch of priceless artworks at the end of times. Exactly. Okay, I need to go really fast. I'm so sorry about not reading what you're saying at all. Are terrorists the ultimate protesters? Zeoduck, unironically, terrorists are revolutionaries that failed. That's it. Terrorists, whether they're the ideology that they're fighting for is right or wrong, they're revolutionaries that fail, right? The founding fathers of America would have been called terrorists if they failed. Any revolution that has happened in the history of humanity, if these revolutionists had failed, or these revolutionaries had failed, they would become terrorists. And every terrorist in the history of humanity, had they won, they'd be revolutionaries. So, yeah, I had that conversation with one of my friends from high school who said, well, yeah, these guys were terrorists, the guys who fought for anyway, there's like revolutionaries in Quebec, and I was like, yeah, they had really good ideas, they were Marxists, I actually liked them. And they were like, oh yeah, so you like terrorists? And I'm like, if they had won, they wouldn't have been considered terrorists. The label terrorist is, I don't know. It's a funny label. Liberal, derogatory, yes. Yeah, I don't mean be nicer, I mean focusing our efforts on corporations. Yeah, but very often when you hit corporations, people don't care that much. It's not covered by the media, is it? The amount of times I've known people personally who might have or might have not like splashed and broken windows of banks, splashed banks with like red paint to signify blood, or broken windows of banks. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. It's not mentioned at all in the media. It's not even newsworthy at all. Wow, we have less leftist is following. Look at that, leftist. We have the leftist, capital L, following. Holy shit. The leftist. It says Kremna. Yeah, the official leftist. Wow. I was like super excited to get so many follows, but like none of that kind of mattered now that the leftist just followed. I think that we should wait for space aliens to save us. Yeah, Dan OCD, I think that's a good idea. At this point, it might be the only thing that saves us. PF Porlock says, destroying art in the UK won't help the planet much. If the UK goes oil-free, it would make almost zero difference. The countries who pollute the most, like China, India, Brazil, don't care about because fossil fuels are too important. I don't think it's about necessarily the UK. I think it's about sparking outrage and conversation and action, to not let it be isolated. And I don't think it's necessarily about being oil free. I agree that if the UK goes oil free, it will almost make zero difference. I agree with that. Even if the whole world goes oil free, the problem is not the oil at all. Well, it is part of the problem, but it's not the whole problem. Just stopping oil is not going to stop climate change, or it's not going to prevent the world from getting worse. And yeah, it's true that China, India, Brazil do produce more CO2, but at the same time, if we want to change things, we can't just sit on our hands and say, well, China is the big bad, so we can't do anything about it, or we can't just wait on China to do something, or India to do something, or Brazil to do something. I think our best bet is to actually try to change so that this can kind of snowball in other areas of the world. Again, we're sort of desperate. Germinal's fave painting is the Mona Lisa for sure. I just look once at the chat in real time, and makes me realize I don't want to look at the chat in real time. Actually, I'm just going to continue watching, looking at the old. No, Hentic Play says yes, very. So I don't know if yes, very to what, but to Israel. Oh yeah, we're talking about Israel. Okay. Now we're wow, we were just at the point where I talk about Israel. Unlucky spawn, to be honest, is what he's saying. Yeah, unlucky spawn. It sucks when your country doesn't align with your values, which is basically every country. Yeah, and our country isn't real. Yeah, shit, no one likes the government. They're fascist. No one denies that, says Hentic Plays. All governments are problematic. That's why there are governments. Toilet Gek, first time chat, asks, what is your opinion on left-wing market anarchism? I think there's inherent problems with the market, but I'm not going to necessarily say if you're a market anarchist, like you're not a real anarchist or whatever. Like some problems with markets that are inherent to markets, not necessarily to capitalism, is the fact that there's some benefits to markets for sure. But like, for example, let's say you it's something that some anarchists argue for, right? Let's say just you still have markets, and basically you work like basically every company or business is workers owned, and you rule your community, or you organize your community through these businesses, through these economic sectors. And every economic sector, like you still have trade, you still have markets, but the profits, instead of going to a boss, are redistributed among the owners of the co-op, let's say, or the members of that workplace. So there's workplace democracy. There's no hierarchy in political hierarchy. There's no hierarchy economically. However, you can develop hierarchies among different sectors of a community. And I gave an example already. I live in an impoverished area where the only economic sector is hospital. That's where people get their jobs, or fishing, right? If you work in a restaurant, if you work in pharmacies, whatever, blah, 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 you're not going to get as much money in terms of revenue, of split revenue among your other colleagues, let's say, than someone who works at the fishing company or at the hospital. Though the hospital, I don't know. And because I don't know how much revenue it gets. It doesn't really get any revenue. Anyway, so maybe perhaps you can include markets for certain things and not for others, which is what I believe left-wing market socialists or anarchists agree with, not for everything. But I do believe that even without a boss, you can create through market inequalities among different businesses or companies. Yeah, all the government is problematic, but not every one of them start war. Yeah. I always need to Google some words they use, like what the fuck is a creationist? Listen, Magna, if you had to Google what the fuck is a creationist, you're lucky. I envy you, Magna. I fucking envy you. Sorry, I'm reading. The Leftist. Okay, that's where we are. Silverlight is from New Brunswick. Do you know where I'm from? Silverlight 42? I'm from Gaspésie. You might be the person who's closest to where I live, even though I live in the middle of fucking nowhere. I'm in Gaspésie, so you might be the person who's closest to me. No, Ryan B. Stifler, you don't live in my walls. I don't believe you. You're not that small. You had me pegged for being close. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. That's not the kind of language I want in my chat. Yeah. Whoa. Let's not talk about. Yeah, I'm in Gaspésie. Pardon my friends. I live in Chandler. Yeah, I'm doxing myself. I don't give a fuck. I live in Chandler in Gaspésie. A small town. Next follows Karl Marx. I'm calling Karl Marx, the official Karl Marx. Already followed. I haven't seen the official Karl Marx in a while, but the official Karl Marx has given a lot of subs in chat in the past. Tummy of Full of Soul says, General, do you have a favorite painting I don't, but I do have preferred paintings. Maybe not one specifically. How would you feel if it were destroyed, like completely destroyed, genuinely irreparably destroyed by Just Stop Oil? I don't think I would care that much. I might even like it even more. That's something that Tom Nicholas was talking about yesterday. How these protests are actually adding history to each of these paintings. If anything, they're adding value to these paintings. Like now, everybody has heard Rocket by Venus. Even people who've never given a fuck about art history now know about Rocket by Venus. Some of you might have not known it, and now you know it, and you know that it has in the past been vandalized by a suffragette, and has been vandalized now. It's part of the history. It gives value, and it gives even more history and interest to that painting. And if anything, I believe that that's what paintings are valuable for, right? If a painting just sits in a museum and is not engaged with anymore with history, it can just die. For example, I'll give you the best example. My brain just clicked two and two together. Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa was not, I won't say it was irrelevant, but you know what made it super, super fucking famous? It was the fact that it got stolen, right? All right, stealing artwork, that's really bad. We all know that. It's very selfish. It makes it so that nobody can enjoy it anymore, especially at a time when you couldn't reproduce the Mona Lisa. But after it was recovered, it became the most famous painting in the world for the rest of eternity. I don't think it will ever be triumphed. We hope one day that it will be triumphed. I look like a Christ. We hope. I'm crossing my fingers that it'll be triumphed, but I don't think it will. And that's all because it was interacted with. It was sucked back, like it was pulled back from history and into contemporary conversation. And that's what made the Mona Lisa popular. So I don't think it would necessarily, I think if one of my favorite paintings was interacted in that way, either destroyed completely, whatever, and we still had, well, I mean, if I have a favorite painting, I don't really go out to go look at paintings because I don't get out of my house. So they've already been reproduced ad nauseum online. So if they get fully destroyed, I can still look at them, right? And they'll probably just make it, make a life-size version of it, and we'll look at that painting and think, wow, now we can just look at reproductions. It's going to add more to that painting, at least in my case, in my perception of it. Why would you not want to engage with us? We're all friends here. Power Anarchist is really trying to make some parasocial relationships. Germinal loves drip paintings. Yeah. Okay, fucking trolls. A real nature enjoyer. Yep. Yeah, Germinal likes art for art's sake. Okay, you guys know me. Okay. What does Germinal think of statues of naked Roman men? I might eventually make it my profile picture, because I think that when you have a statue of naked Roman men as your profile picture, it really shows that you are yourself very manly and very insightful. Gvamosani says, people can't understand the main cause of climate change are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and not oil specifically. Yeah, well, what I would say the main cause of climate change, you're giving a really scientific approach, which is good, right? It's I'm not going to say it's wrong, but I think it's the profit incentives of capitalism that are the main cause of climate change. His favorite is Thomas Kincaid. All right. Hexdrone6459. Hello, Hexdrone. So any other lefty cinephiles here? Yeah. We are cinephiles. I will admit, late stage is killing cinema for sure. Yeah, well, I don't know. I was okay, really quickly. Okay, I keep going. Oh, Arberlin says a bit late, but raid. All right, thank you, Arberlin, for saying raid. Hextron, I was just really quickly. Everybody in chat already knows that, and I guess I'm always repeating myself because they're like, "Haha, you like drip paintings?" Because I keep saying I don't like it. Haha, you like Thomas Kincaid? Well, because I keep saying I don't like it. Don't tell me. Okay, whatever. I don't think. Well, I think cinema, yeah, is being affected by late stage capitalism. However, I was on the selection committee for a festival, a film festival, like a independent movie film festival. And yes, there was a lot of shit movies, and I had to go through a lot of them. But there was also a lot of really fucking good movies. They're not going to be at the box office. They're not going to be necessarily at your local, movie theater that's there to make money. But there are some good movies being made right now. And that's just in Quebec, where I live, because it was a Quebec film. There was some European, like Belgian and French movies, mostly from Quebec. I cannot imagine if you're from America, or if you're from, like, the amount of good movies that are probably made in your state and close to you, but that just you never get to because either you might not have access to a film cinema festival, like a film festival, or for whatever reason. But there's some really good movies out there. Their favorite? Does Germinal only go by they? I go by they. Those are my preferred pronouns, but they're not my mandatory pronouns. In the sense that, like, I go by they them. That's what I prefer. But if you call me he him or whatever, I'm not gonna blame you. I'm not even gonna correct you. I don't. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to. Well, I'm super happy that all of you are super engaged in chat. It's the first time I do a stream that's a bit later, and look at chat going fucking off. I'm very happy. I'm very happy for that. Okay, now we're talking about pegging. Okay, good. Me doxing. Do people want to be doxed by me? Okay. Okay. Yeah, Zoduck talking about Banksy protesting against the commodification of their art by doing a stunt, and it made them 10 times more valuable. Absolutely. It makes it more, yeah. I do know what grass is. They can't touch grass. They smoked it all. I know. I don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Two streams ago, I had an ad that played before a video, and it was an ad on weed because I'm in Canada, so weed is legal. And people in chat were going, as Europeans would say, fucking bonkers. They're going crazy because they're like, I can't believe you have an ad on about weed, and it's like, Groovalicious is like really, really happy about how smart chat is. Don't get too used to it. Yeah, this is a really good conversation, okay? But like for people who are the first time they're here, chat is usually not that insightful. Far from it. Very, very far from it. Canada has grass. Damn. I lived for a month in like the Great North, and there was no grass there. But it was very cold. I didn't like it. It was in June. It was still snow in June. I don't imagine Sean as a stoner. I don't know why. Yeah, no, I'm not. Okay, Sean, but what if people destroy your painting? You know what? If someone destroys my painting or my art, I'd be happy. Not because it's insured. It's not. I don't have that much artworks. But if it stirred enough people, if my art makes it so that someone thinks that by burning it or by whatever, destroying it, it will accomplish whatever it is, then yeah, good. You know, because I've done, I think, 2 artworks so far, maybe 3. We've had a little events here and there, and you know, once the artwork is engaged with at the beginning, and even then it's not that great engagement. It's funny, it's great, haha, nice, but then the artwork dies. So if someone wants to destroy it, go ahead. You know, if it can make the artwork, like, if someone's mad at it, and like, to me, destroying an artwork in itself is a performance, right? And it actualizes the original artwork. So yeah, go ahead. Destroy my artwork. Okay, now we're talking about naked Roman men. Okay, I'm gonna skip so many people unless there's new times chatter. Like, cause now I'm tired of being so behind chat. Always blaming capitalism. Keep it up. Okay. Oh, tummy full of soil. This was Germano. Would you mind providing a single word prompt as a starting point inspiration for my next painting? Perhaps one day it will be splashed with false oil or hammered upon. Make a work about vandalism. Vandalism is the word. Either vandalize your own painting. Vandalize your own painting and say, oh, my painting was so thought-provoking, it was so controversial that someone vandalized it. People will love that. It would be like a fake vandalism. I did love Barbie, PF Porlock. Oh yeah, we talked. Okay, Sean loves Marvel movies. Okay. Oh yeah, for the leftist cinephile, I did like Barbie. The reason for that is because it did what every movie should do, which is spark conversations among people who watched it. And not just conversations about, you know, the style or the no. Conversations about the themes, the ideas that are defended in the movie. Okay, we continue. Okay, American Psycho. Yeah, Adam Sandler movies. Actually, Sean loves Adam Sandler movies. Wow, people know so much about me. The lore. Okay, you guys are really good with the lore. Yeah, Ryan B. Stifler says that ad was crazy. Still can't believe it. Okay. What's going on in chat? Very rowdy today. All right, I'm at the bottom of chat. Good. Holy shit. That was one hell of a thing. No, not bongs. That's not something I'm going to do. Does there need to be a threshold for how good your grievance is before you can claim an important artwork to be completed by you in destruction? Wait, what? I'd like to answer that. Yeah, fine. Hello, hi. Hello. Oh, hi, Groovalicious. Hello, Ryan B. Stifler. Oh, hello, Dan OCD, Krenna, Magna, Tired Floor. Hello, hello, hi. Finally got here. What a journey. What a journey. All right. Okay. We're gonna need a conclusion to this segment, to this. How am I gonna conclude this? All right. Yeah, I finally came. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, of course. Yeah, he finally came, and then there's applause. Yeah. Yeah, finally. Do crimes. Yes, it's true. Like, yeah, going through all your yapping, fucking yapping. Conclusion: piss on the Mona Lisa. Marcel Duchamp's fountain was pissed in for like 3 or 4 times, actually. Fun fact. Marcel Duchamp's urinal is probably my favorite artwork. That's my favorite artwork. There you go. Of course it would be. How did nobody in chat say that was my favorite artwork? That's the lore right there. If someone had it, I would have given a sub to them. Okay. In conclusion, I'm really not that bothered by Venus being vandalized. It didn't actually get vandalized. It was the glass. Even if it was vandalized, though, as it was in the past by suffragettes, I wouldn't care either. I don't care for the original artwork in the first place, but more importantly, I don't think that criticizing environmental action when the consequences of that action are negligible actually helps the movement at all. Yes, I understand a lot of people are gonna be pissed at it. Good. I think that's what we want. That's what we should want. I've made my case. But don't do crimes. Obviously. I wouldn't want people to get inspired and then there's like a mass movement of people getting really, really riled up and really, really violent, forcing people to do something about climate change for once. That would be illegal. Stop it. That's how we're going to end this segment. There you go. No, you didn't say it. No, too late. Yeah, you were being trolls. You're always being trolls. Maybe an anarchist. Thank you, Arberlin. Thank you. Thank you. Very insightful. How do you piss in it properly when it's been so brilliantly turned upside down? They don't actually piss in it. I mean, some probably have tried. The one I saw is that they had urine in a pouch with like a tube, like a plastic tube, and then they would. It's like basically like Spider-Man, right? But instead of going like this and then there's like web, it was urine. So they went like this, and urine came out by pressing and like putting pressure in the tube. Because then, if they actually peed with their dicks out, that would be exhibitionism, and you don't want that. I don't think you do. I'm Seanist. I do crimes. No, don't do crimes. Because if you get busted, then you can't be in my chat. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for saying that. It's my favorite artwork. Too late. Just whip the dong out. No. Okay. Oh, yeah. So we're done that first segment. Let's just talk about vandalism really fucking quickly. Okay? Very, very quickly. Vandalism is illegal. and you shouldn't do it because it's a crime. But in a hypothetical world where, let's say you lived in a massively unequal society where things really need to change. There is a constantly threatening, there's an upcoming threat of, climate destruction. Some people are amassing wealth to a degree where you could call them aristocrats or oligarchs, right? In this case, in this hypothetical, right, where social change would be required for a healthy, free, and happy society, in that case, I'm not against vandalism. I don't think vandalism is bad. And one of the things I don't like when vandalism is denounced is not the fact that, you shouldn't do it. If you believe that you shouldn't do vandalism or that it's a bad thing, I don't actually mind, right? It's your opinion, whatever. What I do believe, however, or what does get under my skin, what does get under my skin, however, is when people assume intent on the part of the vandals or the vandalists. For example, you see that very, very, very often when there are protests. They will say the peaceful protesters are the ones who go there with the right ideas and they want to have their voices heard. You've heard that rhetoric already. But the ones who break things, they're opportunists. They're there just to wreck things. They just want to have the thrill. They're not part of the movement, actually. They're just, in French, we call them les casseurs. People who don't give a fuck about the protest or the movement. They're just there to break shit and to fuck shit up. And that's their whole purpose. No ideological, no values, no ideas that are actually, supporting any of their actions. They're just doing it for the thrill. They're just doing it for fun. They're just doing it to ruin the moment. And what annoys me about that is that first, you're being an assumer if you believe that. But there's also something that's quite damaging in that kind of rhetoric. To say that when people are vandals or vandalists, they're not doing it for the movement, they're doing it for themselves. Because what you're doing is you're delegitimizing any action that is not peaceful. You're delegitimizing by making assumptions about the intentions of people, which is, you can't really do that. Honestly, you can do that in bad faith, but you can't genuinely, with actually good faith, assume the intentions of people. Unless they make it very clear. But people who go to a protest and start fucking shit up, you don't know why they're doing it. And very often people who believe that they're just fucking shit up for the fun, for the sake of fucking shit up, are not necessarily versed in protest history. Because the protests where things get fucked up are very often protests who will either A, make history, or B, actually change something. Which, both are the same, I guess. Both are the same. So when you assume someone's intentions, you're delegitimizing what they're doing, and you're delegitimizing also the movement in a way. Because what you're saying is that this movement is solely pacifistic, or is only people who are pacifists, who are not actually angry enough to fuck shit up, who are not actually engaged enough to want to break things. And there is, in breaking things, a form of militancy as well. There was maybe eventually we'll read how nonviolence protects the state, by Peter Gelderloos. Sometimes I'll read that and I'm like, sometimes it's a bit scary, but a lot of times it's actually really insightful, right? He talks about how, for example, the March on Washington was made peaceful by Washington authorities. The March on Washington was, with Martin Luther King Jr. You know them. You know what's going on. However, what I want you to imagine is if instead of being peaceful, all these people decided to be violent, do you think the situation for Black people in America would have been different? Do you think things could have gone differently? You could argue it would have gone for worse, but I think you can also argue that it would have gone for better, right? Another example of violence in protests is the Stonewall riot, which we never really talked about. Stonewall riots, which happened in '69, which one day we might learn about by reading the Wikipedia, because that's how I learn about things, which was violent. Magna believes that hate would have spread if it had been violent. And we should definitely talk about Stonewall. But the thing is, did the Stonewall riots spread hate? Was that the thing that spread hate? Again, it's really hard to quantify, as we've said in the previous segment that we just got done doing. But I think it's important to recognize, at least with vandalism, that very often it's a legitimate way of expressing yourself in terms of wanting things to change. Because the thing is, if doing petitions, if voting, if doing peaceful protests worked, there would be no need for vandalism and for violent demonstrations. Oh, what I'm saying right now makes me think of a quote, maybe you've heard about that riot is the language of the unheard. Have you heard about that? That's basically what I'm trying to say. And when the unheard riot and you delegitimize their voice, if you agree that riot is the language of the unheard, then you're making it so that the unheard keep being unheard by saying that if there's a riot, if there's violence, there's no ideas that are behind them. So what you're doing is that you keep silencing the unheard. Wow, what a short segment. Let's read again. Let's see what people think. All right, let's go back to chat. You guys seem to be want to talk. You want to be in the video? You want to be on YouTube? You want to be on YouTube? Then give me some good comments. Hello, Froggy with Knives. Hello. No, don't do crimes. That would be illegal. Silverlight 42 says, is it really a crime to disobey a law made by a corrupt system to protect wealth if you aren't actually hurting anyone? Hey, that's a question that I can't answer because I would be... No, I think there can still be crimes that are valid. But yeah, if it's not hurting anyone, yeah, you already know my answer. You New Brunswick person. Gladly, this hypothetical isn't real. Oof, good thing this hypothetical isn't real, right? Suspiciously statist. Oh, you got your vandalism painting sketched out, Tommy Full of Soil. That actually makes me happy. Can't wait. I hope you're gonna share it on Discord if you ever finish it, and tag me as well, because I don't go on the Discord that often. Sometimes I'll read. I don't go on the art Discord, on the art tabs that much. Maybe I should do it more. Oh, Krenna already said, yeah, post it in the Discord. Yeah, if you like it. You probably know this already, but the term Vandals came from the Vandals, a Germanic tribe that plundered Rome. Yeah, but I was wondering if it was Vandals or Vandalists, because Vandals is, yeah, the Germanic tribe, so I wasn't sure if we say Vandalists. I guess we're gonna call them Vandals and imagine that it's Germanic tribes doing it. I swear he's repeating himself like 4 times. Yeah, I'm already repeating it. So that you can understand. Because when you repeat yourself, it helps understand. Because every time you say something twice or 3 times or 4 times, the information is more easily, you can assimilate the information more easily. Because when you give information and you want people to remember it, you have to repeat it very often. Because once you repeat it, then it's really, really ingrained. Wait until he starts reading, then it's gonna get worse. Yeah, I think it's for YouTube edit, just different takes. No, I just repeat myself on YouTube as well. We should definitely talk about Stonewall eventually. Yeah, maybe next stream we'll talk about Stonewall, Krenna. If you can remind us, at least just read the Wikipedia article. Sometimes that's all it takes. Yeah, BLM movement was pretty much vandalistic, is that it too? But nobody sees it that way. That's the thing. I know a lot of the BLM movement was also very pacifistic, but some elements was definitely vandalistic for sure. But when it's vandalistic, people don't necessarily attribute it as like a legitimate way of actually expressing yourself, and they just say, oh, it's bad people doing bad things. Hello, cat named Slickback. Welcome back. I saw you at the beginning of the stream. I didn't see any comment since. What about self-immolation? 100+ cases just in Tunisia during the Arab Spring. Yeah, I guess that can do something. It just depends on if it's covered or not. Right? There was a I think it was a climate scientist who self-immolated a week or 2 before the Van Gogh painting was splattered with tomato sauce. And nobody talked about it. It didn't do anything. Also, if there's 100 people self-immolating, that's different. It depends how organized it is and all that, but I don't really like self-immolation. Maybe Arikist sharing about the puppies. Hope chat's enjoying the puppies. I am. It's like saying, I agree with these points, but they used violence, so sadly I must dismiss them. Yeah. Very often when it's the worst part is people who dismiss these points, or at least dismiss the violence, are very often people who, don't even have to they don't even get to even consider violence as a way to go about. Because, why would you resort to violence if you're comfortable? Actually, if you resort to violence while being comfortable, what you would do is you have a lot to lose basically when you're comfortable, right? Someone who's comfortable has a lot to lose, and therefore they can't even conceive of doing violence to change things. So when they see someone doing violence to change things, they think, well, they can't be doing it to like, because they're really like, they're unheard, or they're really desperate for things to change. No, they have to do it because they're bad people, or they're doing it for the thrill, or they're doing it because they want to have fun or whatever. Because they can't even conceive themselves doing it out of desperation. I always make good comments, you just ignore them. I don't ignore them. See, I just read your comment out loud. Do crimes that help people. Yeah. Don't share it. Sean's gonna say it's shit. I'm not gonna say it's shit. If anything, I'm gonna thumbs it up. Or heart it. I heart things as like a, to signify that I saw it. Vandalizing your grandpa's little corner store wouldn't hurt anyone, but it would still kind of suck, so please don't do crime. Yeah, most people don't advocate to vandalize grandpa's little corner store. The places I've seen vandalized in my own time in Montreal when I protested were um, big big stores in downtown Montreal or banks. Are you going to vandalize your vandalism painting afterward? I'd love to see that. If nobody else will, then I'll have no other choice. You should also visit the philosophy channel on the Discord. I already have a book to read. I'm almost done the book that I'm reading, the Kremlin Magician. It's really good. I'm probably going to finish it tonight. I always think of the Buddhist monk setting himself on fire. Yeah, there's been so many self-immolations since, but some have been better coordinated. For example, the Buddhist monk, there was actually, there was like a press conference, basically. They called journalists from all around the world who were stationed, and they said, hey, something's going to happen. They didn't say what it was, because they would have stopped them. But they did say, hey, something's going to happen. Come take videos of it. Come take pictures of it. So they did. All right. Segment over as well. Wow, 2 segments in one stream. Can you believe it? I can't. I certainly can't. All right. Uh-oh, what time is it? Uh-oh. That was a segment? Yeah, it was. We talked about vandalism. We'll see if I keep it. That was really quick. Maybe 2 minutes. Maybe it'll be a short. Can you imagine if it's a short? Oh, we'll be so happy. We'll be so happy because I love shorts. New record. Okay. Hold on. Someone texted me. It's Bali. Okay. Maybe Anarchist says, hi, Jonia DL. Jonia DL's been here for a while. But yeah, hello. When are we going to make a new short on stream? I didn't even edit the short on anarchism. I don't... Do you want to make a new short? Yes, it's time for a new YouTube short. All right. What YouTube short do you want me to do? Okay, I gotta do them regularly to feed the algorithm monster. All right. Well, wasn't that a short? Okay, you wanna actually, okay, about pyroanarchism? No. I don't know. I didn't think we would get this far. Okay, no, maybe next stream. Maybe next stream? No, we're not talking about pyroanarchism. Yeah, this is a democracy, says Krena. How cute. Oh, yeah. Let's do a short on how we don't live actually in a democracy, okay? We're gonna do that. It's one of the things that actually made me an anarchist. Is the belief that I don't believe that we live in a democracy. Doom Ren Money Game Part 3. I didn't even watch Part 1 and 3 and Part 1 and 2 PF Prologue, so I making sure about Marx's critique of democracy. No. We're not gonna talk. We're gonna talk about. It doesn't matter. Democracy is a lie. I agree. All right. Wait, do I actually? Okay, we need to. I need to organize it with chat. I think chat wants me to organize the. Fine, chat. I'll organize it with you. Hold on. Fair wages for chat. You guys are so cute. Chat should unionize. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So why we don't live in a democracy, right? This is going to be the short. So keep in mind, a short is not over 60 seconds, so we have to be really quick. Democracy means rule by the people. So why do you feel so damn powerless? Is that good? No good comments until we all get free subs. Okay, I give a free sub once to Krena, and it wasn't free. Krena actually worked for it by giving me, I don't remember what answer it was, and now you all want free subs. That's not how it works. No. Don't say A. You literally asked me to do a short for YouTube, and I'm like, fine, let's work on a short for YouTube together. And then you decide to like revolt now after I listened to you, after I fold to your demands, and you're like, fuck Sean. I literally folded to your demands. I think you asked what type of comedy you like. Oh yeah, it's true, Ryan V. Stifler. Yeah, give them a crumb and they want the whole bread. I don't even know if that's a thing you say. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do it all by my own. I'm going to ignore chat. This is what you get. We're not reading the Anarchist FAQ quite yet. I haven't participated, so can I get a free sub, please? Nice try. Really good try, actually. Eventually, if I make enough money off Twitch where giving one sub isn't making me negative on Twitch, negative dollars on Twitch, I'll do it. Yes, Scab. I'll do it. So, Gvamosani, if one day I make money off of Twitch, you're going to be the first sub, well, the second sub that I gift after Krenna for your loyalty. Well, some people, like Francis Dupuy-Derry, argue that it's because we don't actually live in a democracy. Associate to democracy usually doesn't necessarily mean what we often associate to democracy isn't necessarily democratic. Necessarily democratic. According to Marx, our current conception of democracy is flawed as it relies on the state. Through the state, the majority will always oppress the minority, even if the state declares itself to be free of prejudice. Therefore, we must abolish the state to bring ourselves closer to our species being and do away with political alienation. However, interesting, but isn't the anarchist critique of democracy... Well, that's the anarchist critique of democracy, but it wouldn't be like... Couldn't we also say that our critique of democracy, at least our parliamentary democracy, is that the minority rules, right? Through the state, the minority rules. Doesn't it? Because the state is, by definition, a minority. What we often say isn't necessarily democratic. Voting? You can vote for a king. Free speech? A king can give you free speech. Representation? A king can represent the people. And we can talk about the effectiveness of voting in another short. Sometimes you get a sticker, so it's true. It's not like you get nothing from voting. Sometimes you get a sticker. You're telling me I can only vote for people every few years and hope they can actually represent my interests? Yes, that's democracy, baby. Well, that's the thing. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like voting, you can vote for a king. Free speech. Or what we can do. Voting, free speech, representation. You can vote for a king who represents the people and who guarantees free speech. We don't live in a democracy. Arguably, we live in an elected aristocracy. Consisting of elected aristocrats, people who are deemed the best to rule. Who are theoretically deemed the best to rule. Scheduling. Hold on. What? Oh, okay. We have a lot of people. Okay. We got Silverlight from New Brunswick who says they're supposed to represent the people, but do they really? Corporations are people. I don't care. I don't care how many laws they say so. Yeah, I think it's funny how corporations are considered people, but no. Yeah. But the thing is, like, a king can claim to represent the people. Oligarchs can claim to represent the people. I mean, most rulers claim to represent, at least, if not interests, represent the will of the people, at least defend the interests of the people. Hello.
I love you.
Love you too. And they'll be held accountable if they don't, right? Right? Hexdrone 6459 says, so I'm thinking to trying out his Islam as someone who needs something to help with scheduling and feels a connection to Abrahamism. But I am non-binary and I don't like the idea of gender roles in the Quran. Scheduling? Use a calendar, motherfucker. Ryan, that's not okay. The state will preserve cultural divisions because it needs those things legitimate itself to legitimize itself. I mean, Hexdrone, on a more serious note, if you decide to turn to a religion for those reasons, keep in mind you might not be turning to the religion for the right reasons, right? I don't believe that. It's something I've said many times on the stream. I don't think belief is something that you can choose. You can't choose belief. It's just something that's there, right? If you believe that Allah exists, it's not something that you're going to be able to just say, all right, I decide that he doesn't exist, or I decide that he exists, right? It's something that you are convinced of or not. Maybe an anarchist can yeah. Maybe an anarchist used to be religious. I'm sorry, says Ryan Peace. Yeah, it's like an intuitive decision, you know? Yeah. It's like, if you believe there's a God, you believe there's a God, right? You might get some information that might make you change your belief. I'm not saying that beliefs can't be changed, but I'm saying it's not something that you like outright choose, right? I believe that this juice is red. Maybe someone could say it's actually blue and it's the color of the light that makes it look red, but it's actually blue. In that case, I could change my mind. But right now, my belief is that this is red, and you can't tell me, well, believe that it's blue, because it's impossible. I can't just choose to believe something different. All right, good night, tired floor. Have fun sleeping and have fun at uni tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you for the hug. Yeah, even if you don't believe in God, you can follow the cultural practices. So yeah, you can follow definitely the cultural practices and, you know, take some and leave some out. So as if you're non-binary, you can take out all the prescriptions and the beliefs that come with, you know, about gender and homosexuality. Yeah, questioning why you believe in certain things can help you understand what you really believe. That's true. That can be part of the kind of information that you know that help you. Okay, we're going back with democracy. We needed like a little conclusion here. So, if you believe in democracy, perhaps you should reconsider I need a conclusion. I need help. I need help concluding. So I'm not going to even say that. I'm going to say democracy means rule by the people. So why do you feel so damn powerless? Well, some people, like Francis Spuderi, and I'll show the book, I'll go get the book, argue that it's because we don't actually live in a democracy. What we often associate to democracy isn't necessarily democratic. Voting, free speech, representation. You can vote for a king who represents the people and who guarantees free speech. It doesn't make that king democratic. We don't live in a democracy. Arguably, we live in an elected aristocracy, a government consisting of elected aristocrats, people who are theoretically deemed the best to rule. Understanding that, putting Vamosani, we simply can't live in democracy because, like, imagine 8 billion people on Earth is dependent on each other's decisions. So, yeah, well, that's why we are anarchists, or I am an anarchist, and some other people in chat are. You can have decentralized ways of it doesn't need to be one world government. It doesn't need you don't even need a government. You don't, like, we already don't wait. We're not dependent on 8 billion people to make decisions, right? You have local decisions that are taken by local authorities. You have national decisions taken by national authorities. There's not that many decisions that are even the whole the whole wide world already. Of elected aristocracy dismantling the idea of representative democracy can help understand can really help understand the state of the world right now. Try it out. Is that good? I feel like people are not even you ask for things and I do it for you and people are not even engaging with it. Yeah, but like globalization, every country is low-key chained. Yeah. But there's no like body or government, or you can even say there's a democracy necessarily. The UN is basically the US asking the UK to agree with them. But you don't even talk about what we want. You don't talk about power anarchism. Okay, well, sorry for not talking about power anarchism. It's a made-up ideology it doesn't even exist. Trying to have a conversation with the new chatters. Yeah, it's true. That's true. That I will not take away from you. All right, I'm gonna go get the book just so I can show it off to the short. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. This is a travesty. Sorry for the travesty. All ideologies are made up, you stupid. That's true, actually. Okay. You know what's the best part about making shorts, and that's why I'm super happy that you asked me to make short and I actually did it, is that I have to like hide chat for the short. Look how beautiful this is less busy. It's so much better when there's no chat. It's like I can breathe. Oh, there's so much space in here without chat. Oh, I can stretch. Oh, there's no chat to like interrupt my stretching. I fucking love it. Put the chair on the chair so we can see. No. Pooned by Lenore again. Okay. Yeah, you're just glad that you won't have to edit out all the chatters saying penis. Actually, chatters are not too vulgar. Now, don't edit out what chatters say at all. No, this is about as interesting as a landscape. But you know what I believe about landscapes? I think landscapes are not that interesting, but they're beautiful. Okay. So we start with, yeah, you are classy. Okay. Democracy means rule by the people. So why do you feel so damn powerless? Well, some people like Francis Dupuy say that it's actually because we don't live in a democracy. What we often associate to democracy is not necessarily democratic. Voting, free speech, representation. You can vote. Oh, get out of here. Agra, thank you so much for following. Thank you. Oh, there's also Brent Feddo who followed 7 minutes ago. Sorry, I didn't say hi. Hello, Brent and Agra. I want chat to say hello to Brent and Agra, both of them. Eventually, Agra, I'll put chat back here. Right now, we're making a YouTube short, so I erased them. That's why I said leave, but actually stay. Agra. Welcome. And yeah, hello, Brent. Saying first time chat, saying hello, hi. Welcome. Hope you're having fun. Okay, let's continue. Let's get this out of. Hello. Took me a little to realize this wasn't a YouTube video. Such quality. Thank you. A lot of people complain about the setup. They're like, oh, there's not enough going on. They want I guess bisexual lighting. I don't fucking know what they want. But thank you for appreciating it. I genuinely appreciate it. I appreciate your appreciation. Thank you. See what Prime Anarchist says? You can vote for a king who represents you and who guarantees free speech. It doesn't make that king democratic. I feel like second thought. Okay. This is a long one. Okay. We don't live in a democracy. We live in an elected aristocracy. Okay, no. We don't live in a democracy. We live arguably in, we don't live in a democracy. We live in we don't live in a democracy. We live in an elected aristocracy. A government consisting of elected aristocrats, people who are theoretically deemed the best to rule. Understanding the concept of elected democracy. Elective, not elected aristocracy. Elective. Arguably, we live in an elective aristocracy. Understanding the concept of elective understanding the concept of elected aristocracy. I don't want to say dismantling. I want to say deconstructing. Understanding the concept of elective aristocracy deconstructing the idea of representative democracy can really help. Democracy can really help with understanding the state of the world right now. Try it out. See, this is it. There you go. You've got it. You've got your short. Are you happy? You happy? Chat is back on. Oh. Okay. Chat's back. All right. We are back. We're done. It's very refreshing, says Agra. Thank you. Agra has broken into the video. Chat wins. Chat never wins. We want window and bisexual lighting, and yeah, I guess there's other things. No, bisexual lighting reminds me of bad experiences with cops. Yeah. Oh wow. Good. Yeah. Bisexual lighting is cop-like. It's about as beautiful as a corporate union busting video. We're taking the aesthetic of a union busting video and using it against itself. It's very meta, okay? Are cops bisexual? Some are. I've heard of some cops who were bisexual. We need red and black lighting. How would you do black lighting? Okay. No, you're just selling out. Wow. Nonorax, you at the beginning of the stream you followed, but your first time chat is only right now, and you used your first time chat for saying, if I was an art piece, I would be Duchamp's urinal. Thank you so much. Did you know that Duchamp's urinal is actually my favorite art piece? So Nonorax is now my favorite chatter. Black lighting exists, making stuff glow in the dark. Imagine not being able to suck light out of your room with a lamp. PF Porlock says everyone is bisexual. Most just deny it. So, would that be the exact opposite of bi erasure? If you say that everyone is bisexual? That's like the literal opposite. You know, saying everyone is bisexual isn't problematic when you say that about straight people, but it can get problematic when you say that to gay people. By de-erasure. Yeah. PF Porlock going to a lesbian woman and saying, yeah, you're bisexual, you're just denying it. PF Porlock, you shouldn't do that. Wow, after all I've done for you, you just changed favorite chatter so easily? I never said you were my favorite chatter. What I can say, and it's a fact, I think you're the most loyal chatter, and I value you. Yeah, you are. I have a top 3 chatters here, according to Twitch. The third one is Call Me _. The second one is Krenna, and the first one is Pyroanarchist. Here are 3 of your top followers. There's Leftist, Brent Fetto, and Agra, which I guess it's all my the most recent followers, so I don't know if that counts. I wonder why it's more offensive one way or than the other. Saying, oh, why? I think it's because like very often, at least from the lesbian women I know, the amount of times they've been told, "Oh, come on, you don't be so frustrated. We know you secretly like cock or whatever." I think it's like the repetition that can get, and it's the whole idea that there's no way in hell that you're not interested in men, which is kind of a weird thing to say. I think. I don't know. Nono Rax feels very honored. You should. Brent Fiddle says they did it. Yeah, you did. You did do it. You watched about 1.5 days last month. That's a lot of hours, Pyranarchist. That's like 36 hours. So I'm your favorite streamer. Yeah, it is mostly men saying they just haven't had good cock, implying that they could give them good cock, which turns harassy very, very quickly. You're the only streamer. I'm the only streamer you watch, so it either means I'm really, really good, but it also means that I'm the worst streamer you watch. Okay. No, I know that's not what you meant, though, PF Warlock. I know that's not what you meant. You're the only streamer I can bully without getting banned. Yeah, Krenna hate watches me. Mm-hmm. And by the way, PF4, like I'm 100% fucking with you. I wasn't being serious. Okay. All right. Now it's time. You commented once before when you still streamed on YouTube. The person who was streaming on YouTube was called the Canvas. I'm Germinal. We get often mixed up. Chat will concur. Is that the word? Concur? I don't know if there's going to be some gaming today, because we had a really how would you say it? A very, very engaging conversation in chat. Time for Ren Money Game Part 3. Why, PF Porlock? This is not the kind of this is not the conquering that I wanted to say. Okay. We're gonna listen to Ren Money Game Part 3. Because someone in chat has been asking for hours now. Okay, it's 9 minutes long. Oh my god. It better be good. It better be fantastic. Is it fantastic, PF Porlock? I have the lyrics pulled up as well, so that way. Wait, no, I don't. Yeah, well, they probably have the lyrics in the captions. Okay. Okay, let's try this. Crazy camera work.
Tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. 35, he gets a call. I'm sorry son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack, I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed up, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck. Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Call the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution?
Can I show this on stream? Is it even allowed on Twitch?
Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface then consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. "45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Not much commentary to say, but that was pretty good. It wasn't bad. He can count to 45. That's very impressive. Yeah, it's yeah, agreed bad. I think a lot. I mean, yeah. I don't think it's necessarily anti-capitalist. I think I don't know if that's a hot take, but like I don't necessarily think that when people criticize greed, for example, it necessarily means that they're criticizing capitalism. Because you can say these are excesses of capitalism, not necessarily ingrained within capitalism. But it's good. It's still good. It's still good because yeah, greed is bad. The NOCD is not sure that he can count to 45 is the main takeaway from the song. Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, I think if it can like resonate to a lot of normies, I can think of a lot of normies who would look at that and listen to that and be like, "Wow, that's true. That's really good." You know? But like I also put myself in the head of a normie who wants to be, you know, the ruler of the world and make as much money and drive a Lamborghini. And I listen to that and I'm like, "Oh yeah, but like the problem here is he has daddy issues, which I don't, so I'm fine." And second, he decided to fight the cartel, but like I'll do everything like legally, so I'll be fine. So I don't know. Still good. Still great. No idea, maybe an anarchist about the about the end there. But as I said, still great. Thank you, PF Warlock, for recommending it to us. I'm happy I saw this. Yeah, it does create discussion. And also the video is really well made. I filmed very recently a video clip for the artist, for the singer who used to live here, who worked on his next album. And yeah, it's a lot of fun making a video clip, but it can be very difficult. And here it was done 2 shots, maybe 3. I don't remember at the beginning. But yeah, no, a lot of 2 shots. It also makes me think of like how music can really, because like sometimes it was really on the nose, like extremely on the nose. If it's not on the nose, will people get it? If it's too on the nose, do people still even care? Are they just going to the beat and to the music? I don't know. You think there are probably a bunch of hidden cuts pyro-anarchists? I don't know. All right. But yeah, it was actually pretty good. It was good. That movie 1917 did have a couple of cuts, yeah. But I don't think that video clip never necessarily had the amount of the crew necessary, or maybe even the budget to like hide cuts that much. All right, now we're actually reading an anarchist FAQ. Maybe anarchist says, "On the nose ain't as bad as people say." Yeah. On the nose can be good for as we've said, maybe like more like normies, people who need it to be on the nose. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe like for example, Rage Against the Machine isn't sometimes it's on the nose, but a lot of times it isn't necessarily. And because it's a different style, it gives less space to the lyrics of the music. And a lot of people who will listen to Rage Against the Machine can be right wing and have no idea what the fuck is going on, you know, with with the lyrics. And because it's not necessarily on the nose, people will just use it as a way to catalyze their own rage against the machine, even if the machine is against big pharma and big tech or whatever. I was surprised this album went to #1 in the UK. Yeah, it is surprising. Well, it's good, and I'm sure a lot of people actually really love it. I'm good. Like, if it's #1 in the UK, good. You know, it's not necessarily anti-capitalist, it's anti-greed, but I feel like it's good. It's good that anti-greed is, I guess, part of it. And how money rules the world. That's anti-capitalist, I guess. The whole, how his father is the one who pushed him to be like pretty much a fuck up. That's good as well. Hello, Findus Dab 420. Oh, by the way, 420. We got over 420 followers recently. Hello, Findus Dab. Maybe an anarchist says hi. Thank you, maybe an anarchist. I hope people are saying hi to the new chatter, first time chatter. Loved the latest video. Do you mean the video on fascism and cinematography, or my Canvas video on Eugène Carrière? He calls himself anti-capitalist in other songs. Oh, good. Yeah. There's also a critique of borders. That's true. Yeah. Now people are saying hello. It's Krena says help. Probably a typo, but no, definitely a typo. Krena doesn't actually need help. Findus Dab, don't worry about it. Krena says help, but it's a typo. The P is right next to the O, so. Oh, the Carrière video. I'm happy you liked it. Welcome. You're gonna realize that. Oh, Daniel HG, by the way. Hello. I didn't see you in chat. Hello. Lovely community. I try. I really got to push them to be a lovely community. I really gotta. We're working hard on it. Okay. You're gonna see the streams are very different from the channel, from what we do on the channel usually. What we do on the channel is usually art. Here we do a bit of art, but we also do a bit of anarchism and politics and anti-capitalism and stuff like that. Sometimes we try to have fun, but that depends on the mood of the community and the people in chat. You think it's a lovely community? Yeah, yeah. I do believe, but it's like help. Okay. Okay. Enough. Yeah, you always provide fun, sure, by criticizing my background. And look how beautiful. Oh, wow. Agra, what do you think of this? Agra, if you're still there. What do you think of this? Isn't it beautiful? Whoa. Okay, chat is back. Okay. Needs more rainbows. No, there was nothing wrong with the background, but I couldn't actually go around the room. My desk was in the hallway of the room. You wouldn't understand. You're not here. Okay, enough with the trolling in chat. We're gonna do something I've been wanting to do for like a solid 40 minutes now, which is reading section B. You can be there though? No, you can't. Okay. So we're reading an anarchist FAQ. I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna be introducing it all the time, but there's different sections. It took me about 2 years to go through section. Was it 2 years? I think about 2 years to get through section A. And now we finally finished section A last stream. So if you're here to watch the, you're here for the first ever reading of section B. It's not necessarily story time, Jonia DL. I mean, maybe a bit. You're not in my walls. None of you are small enough to be in my walls. You're not a short drive away. No, you're not. Okay. I'm not sure how much we're going to learn from because this might be an introduction to the whole section B of the anarchist FAQ. Yeah, for Silverlight can actually, you know what? Like I actually, if I take a boat, apparently I can, depending on the speed of the boat, I could be in Miscou in like 40 minutes or 20 minutes. Like let's say half an hour. In half an hour, I could be in Miscou if I took a boat. And the funny thing is, I live in Gaspésie, right? And Gaspésie is like it's only old people. There's nothing here. There's absolutely nothing. So when Bally and I we were on Tinder, the people that we would have like show up on our Tinder feed, there's nobody here. So we wouldn't get anyone here. It would be people from New Brunswick, from the other side of the bay or whatever. And we'd get people from, what's the name? Let me show you. Bathurst. There you go, Bathurst. This is Miscou Island. I live here in Chandler. Apparently this is like a 20-minute boat ride. I don't believe the person who told me it would be 20 minutes because it feels so far, but apparently it's not. But yeah, I would get a lot of people from Bathurst. Sometimes I get people from Caracat and Chipagan. Sometimes Tracadie, which are more French people. Bathurst is more English from what I understand. But aside from that, there's nothing here. There's Gaspé sometimes, but anyway. Oh, The Rock. You know The Rock, Dan OCD? Holy shit. Dan OCD knows The Rock. Gaspésie. Old people are something. Here. It's here, Gaspésie. That's how you write it. The one rock in the world, you know. The one in Perse. I'm happy you know it. Is there a way we can look at it? Dan OCD note. The rock is right here. Yeah, let's go in the middle of the water, right here. This is the rock. All right. All right. You know a rock. Okay. Okay, enough. All right. So we're going to read the first part of the first chapter of section B. All right. What does section B consist of? Let's learn. All right, see you soon, Krenna. Section B. Why do anarchists oppose the current system? This section of the FAQ presents an analysis of the basic social relationships of modern society and the structures which create them, particularly those aspects of society that anarchists want to change. Anarchism is essentially a revolt against capitalism. As a political theory, it was born at the same time as capitalism and in opposition to it. As a social movement, it grew in strength and influence as capitalism colonized more and more parts of society. Rather than simply express opposition to the state, as some so-called experts assert, anarchism has always been opposed to other forms of authority and the oppression they create, in particular capitalism and its particular form of private property. It is no coincidence that Proudhon, the first person to declare themselves an anarchist, did so in a book entitled What is Property? And gave the answer, it is theft. From Proudhon onwards, anarchism has opposed both the state and capitalism. Indeed, it is the one thing such diverse thinkers as Benjamin Tucker and Peter Kropotkin both agreed on. Needless to say, since Proudhon, anarchism has extended its critique of authority beyond these two social evils. Other forms of social hierarchy, such as sexism, racism, and homophobia, have been rejected as limitations of freedom and equality. So, this section of the FAQ summarizes the key ideas behind anarchism's rejection of the current system we live under. This, of course, does not mean that anarchistic ideas have not existed within society before the dawn of capitalism. Far from it. Thinkers whose ideas can be classified as anarchist go back thousands of years and are found many diverse cultures and places. Indeed, it would be no exaggeration to say that anarchism was born the moment the state and private property were created. However, as Kropotkin noted, while, open quote, from all times there have been anarchists and statists, in our times anarchy was brought forth by the same critical and revolutionary protest that gave rise to socialism in general. However, unlike other socialists, anarchists have not stopped at the negation of capitalism and of society based on the subjection of labor to Anarchists have not stopped at the negation of capitalism and of society based on the subjugation of labor to capital, and went further to declare themselves against what constitutes the real strength of capitalism, the state and its principal supports, centralization of authority, law, always made by a minority for its own profit, and a form of justice whose chief aim is to protect authority and capitalism. So anarchism was not only against capitalism, but also against these pillars of capitalism: law, authority, and the state. I'm doing good right now. Am I not? I'm not stuttering. I hope people in chat are actually surprised and impressed. In other words, anarchism as it exists today, as a social movement with a long history of struggle and with a political theory and set of ideas, is the product of the transformation of society which accompanied the creation of the modern nation-state and capital, and, far more importantly, the reaction, resistance, and opposition of those subject to these new social relationships and institutions. As such, the analysis and critique presented in this section of the FAQ will concentrate on modern capitalist society. Anarchists realize that the power of governments and other forms of hierarchy depends upon the agreement of the governed. Fear is not the whole answer. It is far more, open quote, because they, the oppressed, subscribe to the same values as their governors. Rulers and ruled alike believe in the principle of authority, of hierarchy, of power, end quote. With this in mind, we present in this section of the FAQ our arguments to challenge this consensus, to present the case why we should become anarchists, why authoritarian social relationships and organizations are not in our interests. Needless to say, this task is not easy. No ruling class could survive unless the institutions which empower it No ruling class could survive unless the institutions which empower it are generally accepted by those subject to them. This is achieved by various means: by propaganda, the so-called education system, by tradition, by the media, by the general cultural assumptions of a society. In this way, the dominant ideas in society are those of the dominant elite. This means that any social movement needs to combat these ideas before trying to end them. Open quote. People often do not even recognize the existence of systems of oppression and domination. They have to try to struggle to gain their rights within the systems in which they live before they even perceive that there is repression. Take a look at the women's movement. One of the first steps in the development of the women's movement was so-called consciousness-raising efforts. Try to get women to perceive that it is not the natural state of the world for them to be dominated and controlled. My grandmother couldn't join the women's movement since she didn't feel any oppression in some sense. That's just the way life was, like the sun rises in the morning. Until people can realize that it is not like the sun rising, that it can be changed, that you don't have to follow orders, that you don't have to be beaten, until people can perceive that there is something wrong. I'll do it again because I don't know when I paused. Until people can realize that it is not like the sun rising, that it can be changed, that you don't have to follow orders, that you don't have to be beaten, until people can perceive that there is something wrong with that. Until people can perceive that there is something wrong with that, until that is over. Until people can perceive that there is something wrong with that, until that is overcome, you can't go on. And one of the ways to do that is to try to press reforms within the existing systems of repression, and sooner or later you find that you will have to change them. End quote. Reforms. This means, as Malatesta stressed, that anarchists, open quote, first task their This means, as Malatesta stressed, that anarchists, open quote, first task, therefore, must be to persuade people. This means that we must make people aware of the misfortunes they suffer and of their chances to destroy them. To those who are cold and hungry, we will demonstrate how possible and easy it would be to assure everybody their material needs. To those who are oppressed and despised, we shall show how it is possible to live happily in a world of people who are To those who are oppressed and despised, we shall show how it is possible to live happily in a world of people who are free and equal. And when we will have succeeded in arousing the sentiment of rebellion in the minds of men and women against the avoidable and unjust evils, and women against the avoidable and unjust evils from which we suffer in society today, and in getting them to understand how they are caused and how it depends on human will to rid ourselves of them, then we will be able to unite and change them for the better. End quote. I know the end quote's at the middle of the sentence, but it makes it easier to say it at the end. So we must explain why we want to change the system. From this discussion, it will become apparent why anarchists are dissatisfied with the very limited amount of freedom in modern society and why they want to create a truly free society. In the words of Noam Chomsky, The anarchist critique of modern society means, open quote, to seek out and identify structures of authority, hierarchy, and domination in every aspect of life, and to challenge them. Unless a justification for them can be given, they are illegitimate and should be dismantled to increase the scope of human freedom. That includes political power, ownership, and that includes political power, ownership, and management. That includes political power, ownership, and management, relations among men and women, parents and children, our control over the fate of future generations, the basic moral imperative behind the environment, the basic moral imperative behind the environmental movement, and much else. Naturally, this means a challenge to the huge institutions of coercion and control, the state, the unaccountable private tyrannies that control most of the domestic and internal economy, i.e., capitalist corporations and companies, and so on. But not only these. End quote. This task is made easier by the fact that the dominating open quote dominating class has not succeeded in reducing all its subjects to passive and unconscious instruments of its interests. This means interests, end quote. This means that where there is oppression and exploitation, there is also resistance and hope. Even when those oppressed by hierarchical social relations generally accept it, those institutions cannot put out the spark of freedom totally. Indeed, they help produce the spirit of revolt by their very operation as people finally say enough is enough and stand up for their rights. Thus, hierarchical societies, open quote, contain organic contradictions, and these are like the open quote, contain organic contradictions, and these are like the germs of death. Thus, hierarchical societies, open quote, contain organic contradictions, and these are like the germs of death from which the possibility of progress springs, end quote. Yeah, this is good so far. He was reading so well earlier. It makes me sad. Now I'm not as focused anymore. Hola, Aldzerge. Okay, wait, hold on. This is gonna be a bitch to fix or to edit, because now I'm gonna take like a little break just to show something to Aldzerge. Aldzerge. Una streak de 42 días en Duolingo. En español. Sí. Gracias. Gracias. Muchas gracias. Me alegra también. Okay, let's continue. Continuar. Okay. Thank you, maybe an anarchist. Muchas felicidades, señore Germinal. Gracias. It's sort of easy when you already know French. It helps a lot. Alt Surge always arrives at the end of stream when I'm reading an anarchist FAQ. Alt Surge, you either only come when I read the anarchist FAQ because you like when I read the anarchist FAQ, or you're just really unlucky. Mañana. Mañana, which can mean either tomorrow or morning. I'm basically trilingual right now. I'm such a person of the world. Okay, let's continue. Anarchists, therefore, combine their critique of existing society with active participation in the ongoing struggles which exist in any hierarchical struggle. As we discuss in section J, we urge people to take direct action to fight oppression. Such struggles change those who take part in them, breaking the social conditioning which keeps hierarchical society going and conditioning which keeps hierarchical society going and making people aware of other possibilities, aware that other worlds are possible and that we do not have to live like this. Thus, struggle is the practical school of anarchism, the means by which the preconditions of an anarchist society are created. Anarchists seek to learn from such struggles while, at the same time, propagating our ideas within them and encouraging them to develop into a general struggle for social liberation and change. Thus, the natural resistance of the oppressed to their oppression encourages this process of justification Chomsky and anarchism calls for, this critical evaluation of authority and domination, this undermining of what previously was considered natural or common sense until we started to question it. As noted above, an essential part of this process is to encourage direct action by the oppressed As noted above, an essential part of this process is to encourage direct action by the oppressed against their oppressors, as well as encouraging the anarchistic tendencies and awareness that exist to a greater or lesser degree in any hierarchical society. The task of anarchists is to encourage such struggles and the questioning their produce of society and the way it works. The task of anarchists is to encourage such struggles and the questioning their produce of society. I'm going to say the task it produces and the questioning. What is this trying to say? Tu aimes le FAQ aussi? Ah, je suis content d'entendre ça, Serge, tant mieux. I'm not really sure what they're trying to say, so I'm just going to go with it and not let that stop me. The task of anarchists is to encourage such struggles and the questioning their produce of society and the way it works. We aim to encourage people to look at the root causes of the social problems they are fighting, to seek to change the underlying social institutions and relationships which produce them. We seek to create an awareness that oppression can not only be fought, but ended, and that the struggle against an unjust system creates the seeds of the society that will replace it. In other words, we seek to encourage hope and a positive vision of a better world. And it's already over. However, this section of the FAQ is concerned directly with the critical or negative aspect of anarchism, the exposing of the evil anarchism, the exposing of the evil inherent in all anarchism, the exposing of the evil inherent in all authority, be it from state, property, or whatever. Be it from state, property, or whatever, and why, consequently, anarchists seek, open quote, the destruction of power, property, hierarchy, and exploitation, end quote. Later sections will indicate how, after analyzing the world, anarchists plan to change it constructively. But some of the constructive core of anarchism will be seen even in this section. After this broad critique of the current system, we move on to more specific areas. Section C explains the anarchist critique of the economics of capitalism. Section D discusses how the social relationships and institutions described in this section impact. Section D discusses how the social relationships and institutions described in this section impact. Section D discusses how the social relationships and institutions. Section D discusses how the social relationships and institutions described in this section impact on society as a whole. Sorry. It's the last sentence. Section D discusses how the social relationships and institutions described in this section impact on society as a whole. Section E discusses the causes and some suggested solutions to the ecological problems we face. All right. Whew. Malchanceux means unlucky. Yes. All right. We read an anarchist FAQ. Look at us. Wow. Yeah, fun stuff. Interestingly enough, one of the things that accelerated my own radicalization, if you want to say, was the first protest I ever went to. I remember going to my first protest still. It was actually an anti-fascist protest against nationalists in front of l'Hôtel de Ville in Montreal, in front of the townhouse? No, in front of the... What's an Hôtel de Ville in English? Where the mayor is, the city hall. Yeah. Thank you, Krena. It was in front of the city hall. There was on one side the anarchist anti-fascists, and on the other there was like the Quebec flag waving. They used to be called La Meute, like the pack, like the wolf pack in a way. They were fascists, and I don't know if they still exist today, because they got into the mainstream and kind of got hated for being far right. And kind of died from that, if I remember correctly, or they just became, anti-COVID, anti-vax. They went with that crowd. Anyway. And I remember cops, stopping us, but not actually being able to stop us. Because we were just so many. There was more of us than of them. And there was definitely more of us than there was of the far right people. And I remember thinking, how when you grow up, you very often think that things are a certain way and you don't question them because you're so young. For example, you have the idea that your parents know everything and that they're like almost perfect and they're so wise and they're so great. I mean, not everyone knows or like feels that, but if you've grown up with a semblance of privilege, then you will grow up with the idea that your parents know everything and they're perfect and they're flawless. They're like 200 IQ. They're perfect, whatever. And it's with time, especially by seeing your parents in vulnerable situations, that you realize that they're just humans and that, they're far from being perfect, and that's just normal. Well, the state is, your own relationship to the state can be very similar. In your head, everything can be very, very, well, the state is just the state. You have a cop that's, sun rises in the morning. That's what goes on. But then you see the state and cops struggling to maintain order in a altercation between fascists and anti-fascists. And then you realize that the perfection of the state, or the fact that the state maintains order when it obviously can't and is just struggling to do it, makes you realize, all right, so this isn't as solid as I thought it was. This can change. This is what this section of the FAQ is talking about, right? It's talking about how by experiencing a struggle against the state or against capitalism, it can unlock something in you where you realize, oh, the same kind of feeling that, oh, my parents aren't perfect. They're also flawed. They're also, trying their hardest to do something that isn't easy. And to me, that was my unlocking moment. I know for a fact that it was also an unlocking moment for other people when, and I've talked about this on stream before, when we unionized our workplace in Montreal. When we unionized the bookstore that we worked in, Bali and I, and many other people. Of course, to unionize, you have a lot of people working on that. A lot of people, it was their first time actually confronting an authority which they saw super disorganized and trying to stop us from unionizing and not being able to do it. It puts into light what in French we call rapport de force, or the relations of power. I guess we're going to call that in English. So it puts into light the relations of power instead of just making it look like there is no relation of power. There is no, when we perceive it as natural, we don't see the social forces at play because it's natural. There's no social forces in the sun rising in the morning. It's just natural. And when you're young, your parents knowing everything, there's no social forces. There's nothing that you just see it as natural. Well, the strength of the state and the strength of corporations, if you don't see the social forces behind it, you'll see it as natural. But by struggling, you see the social forces and you see that it's actually driven by humans that sometimes struggle as well. And I think that's important. It just my own personal experience to illustrate what's been said in this anarchist FAQ chapter. If this becomes a segment, check out an anarchist FAQ. I'll link the video in the description or whatever, or maybe in the comments. It's the beginning of section B. So that way you can follow with the anarchist FAQ from section B and onwards. All right. Go check, go read, go listen to the anarchist FAQ. Go ahead. Okay, what are people saying about that? Are you saying that the wolf pack died from cringe? Basically. Oh, Groovalicious is back. Hello, Groovalicious. Both my parents are conservative / Republican. There were a lot of arguments. Good. Oh, that's really well said, Vamosani. Yeah, once some YouTuber said something like, you idolize your parents, which is true, then demonize. I'd never demonize my parents, but I know it's something that happens a lot. And in the end, humanize. Yes. I was always surprised when I met other people who thought things could / should change. It's nice to not feel alone as a radical. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've had this one person once this summer who's like, yeah, I do believe the revolution's coming. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to temper our expectations. We're going to try to pop out of our bubble, right? Of our echo chamber. It's great to hear that you think the revolution is coming, but like at the same time, there's hope, and then there's like crippling optimism. Oh, wow. I read once that the age of a kid raised in a religious household is expected to realize the difference between the infallibility of God and their parents is around 4, and even longer for them to understand the limits of parents' actual social standing. Yeah, I guess it depends on your parents' social standing in general. But yeah, it's really interesting. And the sun doesn't rise, Sean. Okay. Yeah. You think I don't know that? My parents are very Catholic and conservative. I just gave up on arguing with them. Grivalicious, Catholic? Are you American? Because there's no Catholics in America. We all know that. Well, there are Catholics in America, of course. But there's not that many. I'm going to assume that everyone here is from America. Because it's getting late. It's almost 6. There's not that many Catholics. There are a lot. How many Catholics in America? Where are the Catholics in America? Yes, 18% of the population. Where Catholics live in the United States. I want a map. Je veux une map. You know, I really wouldn't be surprised if Catholics were more either in the south, like Louisiana, and northeast, close to Quebec. Because of us, Quebec. Trying to see if we can get a map. Yeah. Okay, no, maybe not. Hold on. Okay. Wow, look at me being right and knowing about making great assumptions. All right. So the bluer, the more Protestant it is, but the pinker, the more Catholic it is. No, yeah. So I was wrong about Louisiana and shit, okay? But whatever. French people were there a long time ago. But there's a lot of Catholics here in Northeast. Yeah, I thought Catholics in Louisiana, because Louisiana had French people, but I don't think it had enough French people to actually carry on. Shut up. Fuck up. No, I don't know. What I mean by America, I mean the US. The reason why there's so many Catholics in the East is because Quebec is right here. Quebec is Catholic. It's the only Catholic place, or like, you know, French people were Catholic in Canada. French people are Catholic. English people are English, except for Irish people who are also Catholic in Quebec. But the thing is, during the recession, a lot of Quebecers left Quebec to go live in like a shit ton of Quebecers went to live in northeast of America. But yeah, they don't live in the West. Do they? Oh well. It's the best I could find. I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. I was joking. What does purple mean? Purple meant Mormonism, 50 to 59% Mormon in this state, which I don't know my US states by shape or by location, so I don't know. Yeah, I meant Mormon. How do people know? English people are English. Really, that's news to me. Just making sure that people understand that English people are English. It's Utah. Actually really surprised by that. Seems like everyone here is Catholic. In Utah? No, Groovalicious. They're Mormons. Okay. In Florida. Oh, well, in Florida there's a lot of Latinos, right? Latinas, which are very Catholic in themselves. Florida religion. Hispanic. Okay, trying to find the religion. There you go. In Florida, 21% are Catholics, 46% Protestants, and wow, a quarter is not religious. If you look dominant religion by US county, the information is a lot closer to what one sees IRL. All right, but enough religion. All right. I think we did enough this stream. It feels, I feel so tired because I feel like this, because I streamed a long time. I didn't. It's just that we streamed later, which was a really, really good thing because it went so well. It went amazing, actually. One of my favorite streams in a very long time. And that was in great part because of you, chat. Because of you. No, we're not gonna be gaming. No. No competition in chat. No competition in chat. All right, so there's none. I have no leftist streamers who I follow who are online. Not even Trackmania streamers. There's Alex Prop, which I haven't followed, but we already rated Alex Prop. In the Anarchists, there's also Fluff Bite, who I believe, what is that? Is that their topic of the day is autistic ego death. If you want to go watch that. There's PTRCP. What about if we write leftist? There's Papa Bragon, Jovan Bradley. Two girls, one shower streams. Groovelicious is like, oh yeah, it would be so funny if you made us look at shower streams. All right, so you like Alex Prop? Let's watch Alex Prop. There's memes, maybe memes. All right, and I'm gonna send you to Alex Prop. I will raid Alex, and I will also follow because I have not followed Alex Prop. Yeah, Alex Prop has been in our chat sometimes. All right, let's raid. Is not accepting raids right now. All right. Well, we're gonna have to find someone else. Who are we going with? Who are we raiding? Yeah, Chad is horny again. Don't accuse me of such things. Slander. Slander. Fluff looks interesting. All right, let's go with Fluff, especially since they're anarchists. Okay, yeah. Fluff is, yeah, it's 18 plus, so if you're not 18, leave. Yeah. Let's start watching. I have no idea. Oh, of course, it's gonna be an ad. All right, I have no idea who they are. Hopefully, it's fun and you enjoy it. If you don't, it's not my fault. It's whose fault? It's Groovelicious's. Also, before I send you here, Join the Discord if you haven't already. Join the Discord. Subscribe to the Anarchist FAQ. Subscribe to Germinal on YouTube. And we'll stream again. Probably at the same time, since it worked so well a bit later. So we'll stream again. Thank you for being here. And say hi to Fluff Bite for me. A recommendation by Groovalicious. My skin looks great today. Thank you. I'll show my skincare routine eventually on YouTube. I don't do skin. Okay, enough. All right, goodbye. See you on Discord. See you next raid. See you on my segments. Goodbye, everyone.